You know how some people love spicy food and others don't? Our brains are kinda like that. Some brains are considered neurotypical. That's like the most common way brains work. They process information and learn in a way that's considered typical. But guess what? Not all brains are wired the same way, and that's perfectly okay. Neurodivergent just means someone's brain works differently than what's considered typical. It's like having a different operating system for your brain. Think of it like this. Neurotypical brains are like Macs and neurodivergent brains are like PCs. They both work great, they just have different ways of doing things, and sometimes they even work better together. It's important to remember that being neurodivergent isn't a bad thing. It simply means someone might learn, process information, or interact with the world in unique ways. Neurodivergence is like a beautiful rainbow with many colors. Some of the most common ones you might have heard of are autism. People with autism might experience the world a little differently. They might be super focused on certain things or have trouble understanding social cues. ADHD. Those with ADHD might find it hard to sit still, pay attention, or control impulsive behaviors. They have brains that are always on the go. Dyslexia. Reading can be tricky for people with dyslexia. Their brains process letters and words differently. But there are many other ways brains can be neurodivergent. Some people have dyspraxia, which makes it hard to coordinate movements. Others might have Tourette's syndrome, which causes involuntary movements or sounds. The important thing to remember is that each of these conditions is just a variation in how a brain works. It doesn't define who a person is. Being neurodivergent can have its challenges, just like anything else in life. Sometimes, people with neurodivergent brains might need extra support in school, at work, or in social situations. They might feel misunderstood or like they don't fit in. But here's the thing. Neurodivergent brains are also capable of amazing things. They often come with unique strengths and talents. For example, people with autism can be incredibly detail-oriented and focused, making them awesome at things like computer programming or art. People with ADHD often have boundless energy and creativity, which can lead to success in fields like entrepreneurship or the arts. And those with dyslexia often have incredible spatial reasoning skills and can excel in areas like architecture or design. It's all about recognizing and celebrating the strengths that come with neurodiversity. Section 4. It's not a diagnosis, it's a different way of being. Sometimes people use the word disorder when talking about neurodivergence, but that can feel kinda icky, right? It's like saying there's something wrong with being different. And there's not. Neurodivergence isn't an illness or a disease. It's just a natural variation in human brains. Just like some people are tall and some are short, some brains are wired a little differently. Think of it like having different learning styles. Some people learn best by listening, some by seeing, and some by doing. Neurodivergent brains just learn and process information in ways that are outside the typical box. And that's something to be celebrated, not fixed. Section 5. Celebrating our differences together. We live in a world that often tells us to fit in, to be like everyone else. But the truth is, our differences are what make us interesting. Imagine how boring the world would be if everyone thought and acted the same way. Instead of trying to change people who are neurodivergent, let's focus on understanding and accepting them for who they are. Let's create a world where everyone feels seen, heard, and valued. We can all do our part by educating ourselves about neurodiversity and challenging our own biases, listening to and believing neurodivergent people when they share their experiences, and creating inclusive environments where everyone feels safe and supported. Section 6. Different brains, brighter future. When we embrace neurodiversity, we unlock a world of possibilities. We open ourselves up to new ways of thinking, problem-solving, and creating. We build a society that is more accepting, compassionate, and innovative. So let's celebrate all the amazing ways our brains work. Let's create a future where everyone can shine, regardless of how their brain is wired, because when we embrace our differences, we create a brighter future for everyone.